Good evening, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend. Please sit in and hang tight for a minute while more people are joining us.
Hi, everyone.
Yep. So, let me kind of start this off, right? So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is LZ from BNB, and I'm the ecosystem coordinator there, and I'll be your host for today. So, today's topic is really interesting. NFT season is upon us, and I think this is a perfect time to really share more about the potential utilities and what NFTs can actually achieve. So the topic for today is actually how to better manage your community leveraging credential-based NFTs. And with me tonight, we have the co-founder of Project Galaxy, Harry. So I'm pretty sure the community is all excited now. So handing it over to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me today, LZ. My name is Harry. I'm the co-founder and project lead for Project Galaxy. Maybe I will do some intro about what Galaxy does first. So at Galaxy, we are building an open and collaborative credential data network to empower developers to build better products and communities. And with that infrastructure, we have a very important module, very important component where we help projects and communities to leverage these data to issue out credential-based NFTs. So to give you some example, these credentials can be your public behavior data, your on-chain reputation, your achievement, your contributions. So for example, we have on-chain ones like whether you borrow from Compound and never got liquidated. We also have ones off-chain, like whether your tweet was liked by Elon Musk, whether your GitHub repo was forked by like 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 maybe Vitalik. So all of these credential data are really important because they can be used for various stuff. You can use them to do customized voting system, right? For example, right now voting system is purely based on how much asset you have, but that's not optimal in the long term because people who have the ability to contribute might not have enough asset to vote. So with these credentials, with these credential-based NFTs, projects can finally have a way to do voting system based on their preference, right? They can say, I want half of the voting power to be something that's credential-based, half that's something asset-based. You can also use these data to do stuff like credit scoring, right? So we can have a system where a lending protocol say, because you never got liquidated before on chain, so now you can have a lower collateralized ratio on my protocol that increases the overall use of your money. And you can also use these data to do marketing campaigns and loyalty program. We have tons of projects, including YEarn, CoinGecko, CoinList, right? They're all using our infrastructure to do loyalty program and do growth hacking marketing campaigns. Yeah, and there are other use cases like cyber attack prevention, algo gated communities. So happy to share more about how we are helping these projects to leverage these data to build better communities. And to give you some more details, our infrastructure mainly contains two parts. So the first part is the data infrastructure to enable curators to contribute data through multiple data sources, right? We already integrated 7 different chains. We have on-chain data sources like the graph and off-chain data sources like Twitter, GitHub, Discord, voting data from snapshot.org. And we're continuing to integrate more data sources so that data curators can contribute data in the easiest way possible. Right now, I think we already have around 1,500 credential data sets that's curated in the network and covering more than 4 million users in Web3. And on the other side, we are building tools to empower all the devs or users to pay to use these data. They can use these data to in our application module, such as the NFT module, the voting module that we mentioned. And you can also use these data in a more customized way, such as using these directly from your smart contract through our Galaxy Credential Oracle, or use these data off-chain through our CRED API system. Right now, we have more than 300 protocols and projects, including the ones that we mentioned that are using Galaxy today, and they're launching over 2,000 campaigns already. So yeah, so that's the brief intro. Yeah.
Cool. So thank you so much for this context. I do have a couple of questions though. So this is a really interesting application of NFTs. So what inspired the idea of building such a solution?
Yeah, so at the very beginning, we want to provide a tool to help projects to do growth and community management. We know a lot of projects do growth through this mining program, right? But these mining program are not ideal long-term solutions for growth hacking. We see TVL drop after Sushi ended its mining program, and it's the same with a lot of other these mining programs. Because these programs are monetary based, it's very hard to make these programs sustainable and effective in the long term. But with NFTs, with credentials, we can finally have a way for us to help projects to track user behavior, track contribution, and track these things in a long-term way, so that projects can also issue out more rewards in the long term, instead of giving these very short-term boosts for the protocol. So yeah, so that's the very initial idea. We want to help projects to leverage these data to use our NFT module to do growth. And then we realized these credentials can do much more. They can not only be used to do loyalty programs and marketing campaigns, they can also be used to do credit scoring or voting systems, right? So right now, Galaxy is building a more complete infrastructure where we are helping projects to not only helping them to issue out these credential-based NFTs to help them do growth. We're also helping them to build their product to help them build better products that's leveraging these credential data. Yeah.
Nice. So we did mention the application of NFTs in communities and also DAOs. So can you provide some use cases for different projects in different ecosystems? So for example, DeFi or GameFi, how can they utilize the power of NFTs?
Right. So I can give you some examples on, for example, we have a project called Hashflow. They're using basically our credential and NFT infrastructures to help them to do loyalty programs. So they launched a series of marketing campaigns, which they're issuing out these credential-based NFTs to their core contributors, right? Their LP providers, their traders with high volume, traders with high frequencies. And with these marketing campaigns, it helped them grew their trading volume from 20 million in August last year to 600 million in October last year. So it's a really effective way for them to incentivize users to participate in these protocols. And it's also a great way for them to identify who are their core contributors, core users, so that they can use these credentials, use these NFT holding data to do reward distribution, right? So I think they're planning to do these Hashflow token airdrop to these NFT holders later on. Yeah, so that's for Hashflow. We also helped a project called WuTrade. So they're also a DeFi project. And during the Christmas campaign last year, their daily active users on their website went almost 4x by launching a Galaxy campaign. And unique stakers on the WuFi platform grew from 300 to almost 3,000 in just a couple of days. And during that time, Galaxy also became the top referral source according to GA. So these are examples on how Galaxy help these projects to do growth hacking, right? And we can also help projects to find their target audience using these credentials. For example, we did a project, we did a campaign called Shadowy Supercoder. So basically, Shadowy Supercoder is a name for a group of developers who ever deployed contracts on Ethereum mainnet. And we had around, so after we curated out that credential, we had more than 10 projects came to us wanting to use these data, wanting to access these data as their target audience list, right? So we have companies like Alchemy, Polygon, Gitcoin, right? So they're using our infrastructure to issue out special reward. For example, 1 month free sub on Alchemy, on Parsec, Polygon transaction fee rebate. So that campaign went really well, and it was a great way for all of these infrastructure partners to find target audience and reach them to give out some special reward and do growth hacking.
Sounds amazing.
And we have other, and yeah, and we have many other features like we can help projects to track whether their community members participated in their Discord AMA and issue them these credential-based NFT. So these data were not tracked before when they were not using Galaxy, right? You don't know, and you don't have a way to keep track of who participated in your discussions, in your AMAs, community calls. And yeah, right now with Galaxy, we finally have a way for you to track these data, and you can also use these data to do various stuff in the future. For example, we have a lot of projects wanting to use these data to maybe give out some special mining boost for their core users, or they want to give out some special features that's only accessible for these users only, right? So these are all the use cases that are happening today on Galaxy.
It's really amazing how you can see unlocking the power of basically credentials allows projects to harvest the power of community. So it's really amazing. And I think
Yeah.
congratulations on that. So
Thank you.
I
Thank
was
you.
reading up on Project Galaxy and I came across this term called OATs or Oats.
Right.
I'm not too sure what they are.
Oats,
So
yeah.
could you shed more light on that, please?
Yeah, so Oats stands for On-Chain Achievement Token. They're also a form of NFT, but they are like a standard that Galaxy created, and they're like a lighter module than our NFT module, where for a normal NFT you would need to pay transaction fee in order to mint these NFT on-chain, right? But for Oats module, right now they're free for the users to claim, or the user does not even need to initiate a transaction, and the Oats badge will be minted to you on BNB Chain or on Polygon. So there are representations of your behavior, contribution, achievement, and it's a great way. It's also a great way for offline events, right? If you're hosting an offline event, you will be able to issue out these Oats so that the user would only need to connect their wallet. They don't need to sign. They don't need to do anything else. Just one click, and you would have this badge. Yeah, so right now we already have more than 100K users minted. I think around 200K Oats on BNB Chain. So it's a great way for projects to keep track these data, to keep track their core users, and like I mentioned, they can use these Oats holding data to do stuff like mining boost, voting system, and so on.
Well, interesting. So over 200,000 Oats on BNB chain. Could you share like
Right.
which projects or which events was that?
We actually have more than 50 projects on BNB Chain, launching campaigns on Galaxy. So we have also BNB Chain team, right? Are issuing out Oats in various online and offline events. For example, I think you guys launched a Oat for the hackathon,
Right.
and we are also helping BNB Chain team to issue out these NFT badges for the MVB builders. Yeah, so some other top projects on BNB Chain, including like Alpaca Finance, Wu Trade, and all of these are using these old system to do stuff like like AMAs and community call tracking. So yeah, it's a great way for people to incentivize community engagement in this way.
Yep, I completely agree. So, moving on to the next question. How do you see Web3 future, and how do you think Project Galaxy will have a part to play in this development?
Yeah, this is a great question. So I think one of the greatest feature that I like about Web3 is its permissionless nature, right? It's the fact that people can permissionlessly utilize data and protocols in the ecosystem that helped this collaboration and increase productivity within the ecosystem. So if we take a look at credential data network right now in Web2, there's a very big problem where they are segregated in many different applications and services, right? So your data are stored at Facebook, Google, all of these financial institutions. So this creates a very high inefficiency where there isn't this aggregated layer of credential data network for devs to query and use from. So imagine your data from Twitter, from Spotify, from Google can be shared in a secure way. This would bring productivity into a whole new level and also enables developers to build better products and services for you. So at Galaxy, we want to leverage this permissionless nature of Web3 to build this open and collaborative credential data network. So yeah, so that's one thing that we really want to help with the overall Web3 development. And the second part that Galaxy is trying to help with is we want you to own your own data, right? Credential data right now are owned by the applications themselves instead of the user. You don't have control over your data in the sense that even if you want to give data access to some other application, you don't have the ability to do that because you don't own them. So this is even more of a problem for your private credential data, right? Your private financial info, your search histories, because you don't really want to have these private and sensitive information to be controlled by third parties. So Galaxy right now is actually focused more on the public data side, where we're helping people to curate public data on GitHub, on Discord, on Twitter, data on chain. But in the long term, we're also looking to tap into the private data space. We want to build the infrastructure so that you can own your data in a secure way, and you can also monetize from these data based on your choice. Yeah.
Cool. This is a fabulous answer, and I think it certainly resonates with many people's thoughts. So we were just speaking about data, and I think data is getting a lot of flack these days, right? For
Right.
big corporations are abusing the rights of data. So I'd like to
Right.
ask you, what do you think is the biggest challenge that Project Galaxy is facing in the market when you're building the largest credential data network?
Right. So I think the biggest challenge is on the private data side actually. So in order for this aggregated data network to work, we need to have the most complete data set on the network, right, for everyone to use from. But right now, even though we have a lot of data already curated in the system that's public data, we have more than 2,000 credentials curated already, but we don't really have an infrastructure ready for us to curate private credential data in a secure way. Meaning that the infrastructure for you to own your private data and also for you to share these private data access to someone else is not ready yet. So that's something that we're actively researching on. And that's something that we're looking to build for the next 5 to 10 years. We want to have this infrastructure ready so that big companies don't have the right or the ownership of your data, and you can monitor that, and you can also monetize from these data by yourself. And on the other side, for public data, we are actively looking to connect with more data sources, right? We are already connected with data sources like Twitter, like GitHub, but we want to connect with all of these data sources across Web 2 and Web 3 so that we create this very good user experience for everyone to contribute data to our network. We don't want to curate data or analyze data by ourselves. We want the community and the entire ecosystem to build this together.
Understood. Yeah, this completely makes sense. And we are seeing Web2 companies starting to adopt blockchain. And it may be in near future where we see new companies bringing their data on board, like on chain. So with
Yeah.
that question, I do have one very last question before I think we could open the floor up to the community.
Okay.
So apart from Project Galaxy's recent success, what development can the community look forward to in your future roadmap?
Yeah. So our infrastructure mainly contains two parts, right? So one is the data infrastructure where we help to connect with multiple data sources. So we are continuing to do more on that side by connecting with more data source. And on the other side, right now, projects, we are offering these NFT module, Oats module, voting module for people to use these data. And we're looking to build more application modules for everyone else to come in and use Galaxy in an easier way. So for example, in the mining boost that we mentioned, right? A lot of projects want to come to us and want to access these data in an easier way. So we are looking to build these maybe mining contracts to turn these into plug and play module for every project, for every DeFi NFT or any project to use these data in an easy way. Yeah, and we're also planning to ship our Oracle system within this year so that projects can use these data in a more customized way on chain. And on the other side, right now, Project Galaxy is actually still in closed beta, where we are whitelisting partners to contribute data, and we're also whitelisting partners to use these data. So this is not this is not very efficient, and it's not scalable, right? So we are looking to make everything permissionless so that everyone, you can be a influencer or individual, you can maybe also issue oats for your birthday party, right? You don't have to be a project, you don't have to get whitelisted by the Galaxy team. Everyone can come in to contribute data to use these data. So yeah, so we are planning to ship the permissionless version maybe in 1 to 2 months. So look out for that, and also feel free to submit an application to apply for beta access so that you can help us to test out the current system and help us to improve as well.
Sounds amazing. So yeah, I mean that's probably all the questions on my side. So
Okay.
to the
Yeah.
moderator, if there's any questions from the floor, feel free to show it on the screen. Well, I actually don't see any questions on Twitter and YouTube. So if there's any final closing words that Harry you'd like to share with the community, I think this will be a good time.
Yeah, I would say we right now we have, I think, more than 1,000 campaign ongoing on Galaxy. So for the developers, it's a great way for you to come to use our infrastructure, and for the users, it's a great way for you to explore different projects in the Web3 ecosystem, right? You can come on Galaxy to see which credentials you're able to get, to see which campaign you're able to participate by leveraging your credentials. And we see tons of new entrants for the Web3 ecosystem, learning all of these projects on Galaxy and get rewarded at the same time. So highly recommend that you check out all of these good projects on Galaxy Yeah, and for the developers, feel free to submit the application for the beta access, and we can help you to grow. We can help you to build better communities and products.
Nice. Great. So I really hope everybody had a chance to clear their queries and they are now better, they have a better understanding of Project Galaxy. So thank you once again for being such an amazing audience. And also a huge thanks to Harry, for taking his time out to join us today. So I guess this will
Yeah.
be the end of the session. Thank you so much.
Okay.